Uh, all right.
The main event.
Okay. So,
what else do we need to talk about?
Okay.
How long do we have?
We have 17 minutes. But
so the whole show?
Yeah.
Well, okay. I guess we're talking about this for 17 minutes.
John Jones takes out Mauricio, who not just takes him out, but
too loud.
Not just takes him out. He dominates him. Wins by TKO 237 to round 3. At this fight,
wow.
He made Shogun look like a baby. He made him look, like an amateur.
Shogun looked like an amateur. Yeah, exactly.
Shogun was just like, he was so lost. After the first round, gassed. Completely gassed.
Mid of the first round.
I honestly think it was a combination of Jones looking awesome, but Shogun not being Shogun. Look at the Machida fight. He went 5 rounds. He looked fine at the end of 5 rounds. You're telling me he gasses after 1 round?
Yeah.
Against Jones? That's a little strange to me.
I thought he would work his kicks more. He threw like 1.
Which Jones countered with a brutal takedown.
Yeah.
But once again, don't take anything away from Jones, though.
No,
awesome.
not at all. Jones just destroyed
awesome.
him.
This guy's the future. And in my eyes, he's a few fights away from being at the top of the pound-for-pound fighter list.
Yeah. I think if he defends it at least 2 or 3 more times.
Which I see him doing, because I don't see Rashad Evans taking him out.
Yeah, they already announced that Evans is getting the next shot. Jones says he wants to take a little bit of time off.
Well, he deserves it. He fought 2 fights in 6 weeks and became the champion. Give him some time off. So I don't think that fight's... When do you think that fight's going to happen? I'd say
I think September.
September, yeah.
September's a good time for that.
Give him a little bit of a layoff, and then he can get back in the gym.
Like, what's there to do now? Like, John Jones, the name that came up during the press conference too, Anderson Silva.
He's too big for Silva. We were talking about this earlier. I think he just overpower him. I think striking, Silva would have the slight advantage. Well, maybe not a slight advantage, just an advantage. But I give him a slight advantage only, and then Jones would just overpower him.
The only thing, we talked about this before, I'm scared about Jones on the ground on top of Silva.
Yeah, man, throwing elbows and stuff.
That and Silva's ground game off his back. That may create a little bit of problem for John Jones. That's the only thing. But like at this point, John Jones just seems unstoppable.
If he ever does fight Silva, you have to I guess realize that it's going to be further down the road, and he's going to be even better at that point, which is scary to even think about because he looks awesome already. He's light heavyweight champion of the world.
One thing that we have to realize, though, we are caught in the hype right now because we're so fresh. We're so fresh off the actual event. And a perfect example, I'm not saying that these 2 fighters are like anything at all. Like, they're not alike at all. Lyoto Machida, when he won, it was like, yo, this guy's untouchable.
Unbeatable, yeah.
Nobody can touch this guy. Shogun comes, wrecks him. And everybody's like, yo, Shogun's unbeatable.
Yeah,
John Jones comes.
That's a good point because Jones has never been put on his back. What happens when he gets put on his back? You never know. Maybe someone with a better, better wrestling credentials could put him on his back, and with a better jiu-jitsu game or something could submit him. Because Shogun is not a wrestler.
Yeah, and I think he's a pink belt in jiu-jitsu right now.
But then again, Jones fought Bader, who's supposed to be this world-class wrestler. But Bader's not on the same level.
He's not the same level. He's a really good wrestler.
Yeah.
But his size disadvantage to John Jones was just too much for him.
That reach is a hurdle.
Power, John Jones is strong. Really strong. He was manhandling Shogun.
Yeah.
He was throwing him around.
His size, his length is it's a hurdle. It's just something you can't teach either, right? He's just gifted.
He's physically gifted. And he has the mentality to just keep working and getting better. He's only, like you said, he's 23. He has
3 years training. 3 years training.
He has so much time to work on it. And so speaking of what's next for Jones, obviously it's Rashad Evans. Hopefully in September or by then.
The only thing Rashad Evans, like people say, is that he might be able to use his wrestling to take him down. I just don't think, even if he does take him down, I don't think he's going to do anything with it. And I think on the feet, Jones is going to destroy him.
Looking at Rashad's past 2 fights,
he got rocked twice in the 3rd round by both fighters, right?
He took Thiago Silva down. He didn't do anything to Thiago Silva on the ground.
He didn't do anything. He just holds him down.
He took Rampage down. He didn't do much to him.
He didn't do much to him, exactly.
John Jones is not going to lay there like Rampage and Thiago Silva did. He's going to be fighting back.
We haven't seen Jones off his back, but with his long legs and stuff, you have to believe he's going to be throwing up triangles and arm bars. He's going to be throwing out submissions. He could sweep him.
I don't see any way that John Jones loses against Rashad Evans.
I don't either.
Any way.
This is honestly, it's weird to say that a 23-year-old fighter with 3 years experience is fighting Rashad Evans. It's a gimme fight for him.
They just don't have anybody with the body build that he has. other than like Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva is the closest guy, and Anderson Silva, pound for pound king of the world right now. You know what I mean? So like to be comparing somebody to Anderson Silva is huge.
I don't know.
He's gonna rule that. As soon as John Jones won, I even told you guys, I'm like, I don't even want to see GSP and Silva anymore. I want to see John Jones and Silva. That's what I want to see.
Because they're more alike than GSP and Silva.
Exactly.
Like, that'd be an interesting striking battle.
GSP and Silva, don't get me wrong, it would still be an entertaining fight.
For sure.
But like the fight that everybody would want to see now, John Jones and Anderson Silva. GSP just...
I don't think Silva would be anywhere... Like, he'd be phased by all this crazy kicks and stuff. Yeah. His striking is just too precise.
Yeah.
And he gets into some next mode, or he's like a spidey sense for all this sort of thing.
Compared to Shogun, I think Anderson has more of a knockout power in terms of like he's more precise.
You think so? Yeah. He's more precise. Exactly.
Shogun's
aggressive. That's his style. So, Silva just picks you apart. He knows.
Anderson Silva is more dangerous than Shogun in terms of striking because like he is more precise. Yeah. He has a knockout power. We've seen that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he has unorthodox, and he has a reach.
Yeah, but nowhere near John Jones.
Near John Jones, but he still has reach.
And he's small. Long, I think he's just too small for
Anderson Silva.
He's going to get overpowered. If Jones gets near him and takes him down, look what happened to the Sonnen fight.
Yeah, exactly. That's a perfect example.
Jones would probably do the same thing to him, man.
But I think John Jones' submission defense way better than Chael Sonnen, and I
you have to believe it. We don't know, but you have to believe it.
Okay, if they do set up a John Jones and Anderson Silva fight, who's the favorite?
I have Jones as the favorite.
Why?
Because of his size, his reach, and the fact that I don't think Anderson's striking advantage is significant enough to nullify the other things.
I personally think right now, if this was the next fight, Anderson Silva and John Jones, Anderson Silva would be the favorite right now. But a few fights into John Jones's light heavyweight reign, I think he'll be the favorite. If they give four more fights before Anderson Silva is even talked about fighting John Jones, I think John Jones will be the favorite then. Also depending on the level of competition that John Jones faces. Because sometimes they just throw people into the title picture.
Jones has potential to go on a very similar run to Anderson Silva. Defend the belt record amount of times. He has all the potential in the world to do that.
The next 3 fights possibly for John Jones is obviously Evans.
Rampage looks to be next if he beats Hamill.
Maybe Rampage, and maybe they might throw Machida or...
Machida, I think, needs 2 to 3 good victories before he gets a title shot again. Because he's coming out back-to-back losses.
Do you think not saying this would even be an entertaining fight, Randy Couture, in terms of... Because Randy Couture has this aura that he just wants to face these certain guys. He said Lyoto Machida and Shogun.
Yeah. Perhaps if Couture wins, he could get Shogun.
Shogun, exactly. That would be good too. I just thought about that right now.
but once again, I still think, personally, I would book Forrest Shogun.
That would be a good
rematch.
That would be good. For sure.
One thing I want to mention though, I'm sorry, man, I have to do this to you. Shogun tapping after the fight ended.
That's one thing we were talking about.
That was pretty unsuspected, man.
When they showed the replay on the big screen, I actually noticed it, but I didn't want to say anything.
I saw it today when I rewatched the fight on TV.
Then you told me about it. I'm like, I saw it.
Oh man!
You could see him tapping after. I'm like, oh man! But that's how you can tell how devastating John Jones actually is. To do that to Shogun, who's never been stopped by strikes,
just submitted.
He's only been submitted, and he's twice.
He got submitted by Babalu in his 5th fight.
Yeah.
Forrest
That's a really young Shogun.
That was a young Shogun, yeah. Forrest submitted him.
Yeah, and then he just had a TKO injury.
He broke his arm against Coleman.
And then he has
the loss, and I say that with quotations, to Machida.
And this is the first time ever Shogun's been stopped by strikes and tapped out to strikes. That's even
first time he's been dominated like that, period.
I don't know. But yeah, that's...
He needs to come back strong, though. I think he can come back strong.
I hope he'll come back more, more fired up, like he did after the first Machida fight. He came back so hyped. But yeah. So
one thing. Okay, side note here: the crowd. The crowd, very, very, very disappointed. It seemed like very unknowledgeable MMA fans were just there to be there at the spot to be at.
USA.
No, come on.
I hate that. Don't get me started on stupid chants like that.
There was a couple people in our section I just felt like turning around and just throwing something at them.
Yeah, you're scared. You're a little bitch. You're like, come on, man. Seriously, are you a fighter?
Put on some gloves.
Yeah,
get in the octagon,
cage and you do it.
Take a jab or two, and then talk. Until then, pay your money, sit back, enjoy the fights, and appreciate what these guys are doing. Not
everyone is Diego Sanchez. They're not going to run forward swinging crazy.
I think when it comes to Toronto, we're going to see a more knowledgeable crowd.
I was about to say the same thing.
Please to God. Please.
Don't chant Canada, people. Don't chant Canada.
Well, they don't do that. It's just sorry to say this, dumb patriotic Americans, okay? That's all it is.
Yeah. Be patriotic, but don't be ignorant. That's
they're being so ignorant.
One other thing, okay, about Rashad now. We're talking possibly September for this John Jones fight, you're saying? So, look how long the layoff.
Personally,
should he take a fight in between that? Obviously, he won't now, but should he have taken
That's a good point
fight?
To bring up. Personally, I don't think he should get a title shot right now.
Right.
Like, he's had too much of a layoff, and it's not like his 2 wins after losing to Machida were that impressive anyway.
That's why I'm that much more,
he doesn't deserve it in my eyes. He doesn't deserve it.
Pettis didn't sit back and wait for his title shot. Steps up to the plate, says, I'm a fighter, give me a fight. And if I'm supposed to take the champion out, if I'm supposed to be the guy that's the next champion, I should be able to beat any company.
Exactly. Well, that's what he said. If I can't beat Guido, what makes me think I can beat the champion?
Rashad needs to look at Pedersen,
Well, Rashad needs to, if I can't beat Little Nog, then what makes me think I could beat Shogun?
That's another thing. Even with like Jim Miller and stuff, he thinks he deserves a title shot, but he continues to fight even people.
It's admirable.
Who's Charles, like nobody knows Charles, I mean, and he's still fighting. So we're just going to take a quick little break and we'll get into the preview for next week's show, which is Ultimate Fight Night 24, which is Davis and Lonog. And we'll
maybe in 2 years, Davis is going to be John Jones's kryptonite. I don't know.
We'll see about that. All right, we'll take a quick 30-second break and we'll get into that preview.